Today here with Under the Hard Hat, we have Craig here from John Deere. He's going to tell us a little bit about what John Deere has in store for CES 2026. What do we got going on, Craig?
Hey, Mariah, thanks for having me. So just to clarify, I actually work for the Wirtgen Group division because that's what we're going to be talking about today is actually a Vogele paver, which is part of the Wirtgen Group product line. So
amazing.
Again, thanks for having me.
Of course.
Deere has obviously been a part of Wirtgen, and Wirtgen's been a part of Deere since 2017 when Deere acquired Wirtgen. And with that acquisition came a whole product line in the road building space.
Right.
And the Vogele asphalt paver behind me is just one of 4 different brands that we sell of the Vogele, of the Wirtgen business here in North America. So I'm really excited to show you what we're doing. As a starting point, as Deere and certainly as Wirtgen, we recognize that we're faced with some real challenges in the road building business.
Sure.
A lot of it around available labor, a lot of it around simply cost, time, simply needing to do more with less.
Right.
And particularly in the road building space and the asphalt space, we're dealing with a very time-sensitive product. And so our ability to really make the most of the time we've got to lay down the asphalt is absolutely critical.
Right.
And so automation, using technology to do that is really the secret sauce.
Right.
And so what we've done is use John Deere embedded technology, things like the GNSS GPS receivers, some of that machine control and guidance technology. We've started to embed more and more of it now in the products that we have in the Wirtgen line.
Wow.
And again, we'll talk about the Vogele paver in a little bit, but we also do that in the milling machine, for example, where we've got some technology available as well.
Amazing.
Let's go over and take a look at the paver and we'll go from there.
Let's take a look.
So if you look at a typical paver, a manual paving process today would involve 3 people.
Okay.
You'd have a driver or operator up in the seat.
Right.
And they'd be responsible for both driving the machine as well as monitoring the flow of asphalt in the hopper in the front.
That's a big job.
That is a big job because you never want to stop paving.
Right.
Every time you stop paving, it creates a dent in the road that requires repair afterwards. And if you slow down, obviously it affects the temperature of the asphalt, which impacts the quality of the mat that you lay afterwards.
Oh, okay.
So that job is really important in terms of guiding the machine, controlling the machine, steering the machine, and managing the flow of asphalt.
Yeah.
You then have 2 other individuals, one standing here and the other standing on the other side, controlling what we call the end gate of the screed.
Okay.
Which ultimately determines where the edge of the pavement is laid on the ground.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
So typical manual paving, normal paving requires 3 individuals.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So with that, one of the things we've done at Deere is recognize that there's an opportunity for improving their life in terms of trying to simplify and automate some of the jobs they do.
Right.
Attracting people to this business is pretty hard.
Yes.
It can be dirty, can be smelly.
Yeah.
And you're out in the weather.
Yeah.
And so as an industry, we're looking for ways to make it easier, certainly to improve the quality of the product.
Right.
And simply finding people and finding skilled and qualified people continues to be a challenge.
Would you say, Craig, that like being high tech and being up with tech trends is like a driver for a lot of people looking to get into the industry, or?
I don't know that it's creating an environment where people feel safe and people feel comfortable and they can get their job done as fast as possible and as effectively as possible. I think that's a driver to get in the industry.
Fair. Yeah.
And so one of the ways we do that is a typical roadway that gets paved is done manually. There'd be a surface that was milled with hopefully a Wirtgen milling machine, but a surface that is milled.
Right.
And then the driver would then guide the paver according to the surface that they have in front of them. All a manual process. What we do now is we work with customers with SmartPave that we actually, they model the road surface that needs to be paved. And that's the graphic representation here.
Oh, okay.
So we create a digital model of the paved surface. That model is then verified by the customer and their surveying company to validate it's in fact going where the road owner wanted it.
Right.
Okay. And then that file of the digital file is then uploaded to the machine over the air using John Deere Operations Center, which is our telematics platform.
Wow.
So there's no physical going out to the machine, plugging in anything. It's all done over the air.
Oh, so much more streamlined. Wow.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Amazing.
And so once the model arrives on the machine, the driver that I mentioned earlier recognizes that there's a new file, accepts and validates, yes, that is in fact my road that I'm going to be paving in the next few minutes.
Okay.
And then starts the paving process.
Yeah.
As soon as they do that, that driver no longer has responsibility for steering.
Oh,
so the only job they do at that point is then worry about the flow of material coming off the delivery trucks of asphalt into the hopper.
Right.
And then moving that asphalt back here really to the paving process and the business end of the paver.
Okay? Effectively simplifying their role.
Exactly.
Great.
Exactly. So they now focus, I'd say, almost solely on managing material flow, which, as I said earlier, is critical to ensure you get consistency in the paver.
Yes, exactly.
Right. And so once the material gets back here, we've now got automatic control of the end gates now by virtue of the model.
Right.
So the individual that was standing right here manually controlling the end gate is no longer needed to be there because the end gate on both sides is managed by the model.
Wow. Okay, a game changer in terms of like filling the labor shortage and the labor gap.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because you typically have two people here.
Right.
Not only is that two, but standing right here is a fairly dangerous place because as you see in the animation, you're often in live traffic.
Yes.
And this is as close as you're going to get to a lot of cars that are coming right by. So anything we can do to remove control and the need to stand right here is important and from a safety standpoint. So potentially now we've got the opportunity, instead of having two people, one person standing in the middle of the paver, further away from traffic, but can still see and monitor that in fact the model is being controlled accurately and the final pavement has been put in the right place. Okay?
Fascinating.
So we move potentially from a 3-person job to a 2-person job and allow that third individual to be deployed up front potentially, managing trucks, or to go in the back, managing quality. So it's not necessarily about eliminating labor, but it's using the available labor in a more effective way.
And safer, it sounds like, as well.
Absolutely. So talking about safer, I want to show you one more thing.
Oh, perfect.
Because I think this does a good job illustrating some of the benefits. And not surprisingly, safety is the first one. You know, as I mentioned, standing on the edge of the screed there, very close to live traffic.
Yeah.
Oftentimes at night, because a lot of cities, a lot of states, you know, there simply isn't the opportunity to pave during the day.
That's true.
So they pave at night.
Right.
So that makes that position there on the edge of the street close to live traffic even more dangerous.
Right.
So our ability now to eliminate those people needing to stand there obviously has safety benefits. The other big safety benefit, believe it or not, besides time, is actually the initial marking of the road.
Okay.
So sometimes it requires somebody to go out ahead of time, manually mark the road where the pavement needs to go.
Right.
Again, they're in traffic or close to traffic.
Right.
So there's potential dangers there. But also the fact they no longer need to do that because we've got the digital model driving where the pavement's going to go, completely eliminates that process.
So much easier.
Exactly. And probably one of the biggest things that we see is this material savings. So as you see here in this example, the pavement wasn't laid perfectly in line.
Right.
There's always a little bit of extra. A typical pavement contractor will almost always err on the side of putting too much asphalt down.
Rather than not enough.
Not enough, because they are absolutely want to meet the spec.
Yeah.
Because there's the possibility or the requirement of going back to fill a gap afterwards.
Yes.
It's certainly not desirable. Not desirable
I bet. Yeah.
And so there's inevitably almost some amount of excess pavement that goes down or asphalt that goes down. Obviously now with the digital model, you won't see that kind of excess.
Right.
Okay. And to put it in numbers terms, there's about 4 million miles of road in North America.
Wow.
Excuse me, in the US.
Yeah.
3 million miles is covered either with concrete or asphalt.
Okay. Wow. That's
of those 3 million miles, over 90% is in fact asphalt. So we're at 270 million miles of asphalt road.
Oh my goodness.
A typical asphalt road, if it's laid right and the amount of traffic on it is by design or to design, should last 10 years.
Okay.
Arguably, they don't last nearly that long.
Yeah, fair.
But even if they lasted 10 years, every year we have to put down, either rehabilitate or replace 270,000 miles of asphalt road.
That's
every year.
A big job.
And so if you imagine that every job includes even just a few inches of extra asphalt, the potential savings of 270,000 miles is significant. And ultimately that savings is realized by all of us as the public because whether it's a city road, a state road, a federal highway, it's taxpayer money that's paying for that.
That's true.
So that's really our dollars sitting on the roadway there.
Yes.
So anything we can do to help our customers, our road building contractors, save money and actually do a better job and do a faster job, actually saves all of us as taxpayers.
Wow. I haven't seen a detail like that this year at CES. That's fascinating.
Yeah. And then finally, just some of the automation benefits that come along with that. So hopefully that kind of encapsulates some summary of benefits that we see as a result of this new technology.
Yeah, absolutely. In terms of bringing this product to the market, what are we looking at for timeline?
Yeah. So this SmartPave solution is already available in Europe. They're starting this paving season, selling it in Europe.
Great.
So it's been out there for a little while. We showed it at Bauma as a kind of an initial launch, if you will.
Right.
We've been testing it with customers, but in terms of start of sales in Europe, will be this paving season. And then we'll start selling it here later this year in North America.
Awesome. So stay tuned. And anything you want to add about like the future of John Deere or the pavers? Or
I think you're going to continue to see more automation across the product line, but not just automation on the machine, but there's a lot of valuable data coming off the machines now that we can use to provide to road owners to really validate the work that's being done.
Wow.
You know, because road authorities now are obviously paying for amount of work. And to the extent that all the data of what was done, where it was done is able to be captured and effectively provided to road authorities, again, validates what's been done. But if in future there's ever a road failure of the road surface, they can go back and look through that data and say, hey, was it an issue with the quality of asphalt that was laid? You know, it wasn't laid to the right thickness or wasn't laid in the right place. Was it an issue with the compaction or it wasn't compacted to the right value? So our vision for the future is not just automation of the machine, but data management on the back end for the benefit of our customers and the benefit of the road authorities.
Ah, fascinating. So more data to work more efficiently and more effectively and more safely. It sounds like that's great. I just have, before I let you go, Craig, I have 3 fun rapid fire questions, if you don't mind.
For sure, fire away.
If you could describe CES Day 2 in one word, what would that word be?
Informative. I think, I've had a lot of folks come up that didn't know anything about paving. I've had folks come up, in fact, a paving contractor that did know something about paving. And it allowed me to really share a lot of good information. And a lot of them, I stood right here like I did with you. And they left with the same impression you did. So
there you go.
I think it's been informative for a lot of folks.
That's a great one. I love that. And what is your personal favorite piece of construction equipment?
Oh, that's a difficult one. That's tricky.
Yeah, it is.
That's tricky. You know, now that I'm in the road building space, I would have to say probably our milling machines, you know, because it really starts the entire road building process when it comes to road rehabilitation starts with a milling machine. And some of the technology on our milling machines is absolutely incredible. And so that absolutely is my favorite.
Amazing. I love that. And then last question for you. What would you say to companies or workers who are reluctant to adopt AI and tech?
Yeah, that's a great one. One, I would say, it's inevitable. You know, for all the reasons I mentioned, for all the benefits I mentioned, I think simply given the labor challenges, adopting AI and tech is the only way to continue to make the business sustainable. It's the only way we're going to continue to advance and get all the work done that needs to get done. So I would say I understand there's some folks that don't feel they're comfortable being early adopters, and that's okay. You know, you don't have to adopt everything right in the front end. I think, but there's going to be this continuous wave of technology. And I would say my recommendation would be for everybody, stay tuned. And when it's right for you, there'll inevitably be a solution for you. And so take it on when the time is right, but you're going to have to take it on eventually.
I love that. It's all about the openness.